Morning, everyone. Welcome to today's session on my CAP app, how to use the system. So my name is Simon Berry. I'm the Digital Solutions Manager for City and Guilds. I work closely with Kaplan though on training and implementing the systems. So I can be there today, but I had an alternative appointment. But I've just recorded a video on how to use the systems. So please feel free to work through the video and have a little look. But alternatively, I can do some one-to-one sessions if you require them. Okay. So the first part I'm going to look at the system is the learner view. And the reason I show you the learner view first is because it's really important that you excuse me, that you look at the learner and see what they experience, because what they experience and what you experience are really quite far apart. So I think it's really important that you see what they see and look at the content they're looking at, because that's the whole beauty of the system, is there's a lot of content for the learner. So I think it's really important that you log in as them. So this is what they see. They obviously get my CAP app in the background for Kaplan. I'm on a demo site because obviously don't want to do anything in a real live site. So I'm just going to log in. So I'll log into the ILM team leader program. So apologies if someone's not anyone not ILM. So this is what the learner experience is. So I'll come back to my program now shortly. And then you've got a calendar here, which this is the worst part of my training. The calendar just tells you what date it is. Nothing more than that. It just gives you the date. We are working on doing things with a calendar, but at the moment it's just a date. We have then some other panes. Mine will probably be slightly different to you, but you'll have a link to the functional skills and some other panes on there where we want for safeguarding. You'll definitely have my messages, so you can launch your messages, okay? And that's just a message where the learner can interact with yourselves, okay? But the main thing that they get is my program here, okay? So if you click in my ILP information, this will take them to their overview. So it'll tell them the program they're on. It will tell them what induction, their induction program, their actual qualification, their reviews. If they click on them, it will give you the units and what units they are. So if I click on the diploma one, it'll give me all the units, what's started, what's completed, and so forth. So this is their ILP view. You've got you've got a training log. I don't think you have these questions, but you've definitely got a training log. So that gives them the ILP. So go back to my home page and click launch my program. Excuse me again. So this is their actual program. So what you've got is they got messages here which are unread, tasks returned, and tasks overdue. So you've got the diploma level 3 qualification. So if I click on that one, it will bring through all the units. So these are all the units and tasks that they got to do for the entire program. Okay, you can see all the color coding. So at the moment it's showing it all. So 70% is completed, 2% is returned, 57% in progress, and you've got 24 overdue. Okay, now the buttons at the top here, if I click on the in progress ones, it will just then highlight the ones that are in progress, so I can scroll through this list. If I want to go to the overdue ones, it'll just give me overdue in red. If I want to see what's completed, I can then go in there. So it's very colorful. You can click show all, or you can really do each one. So if I click on the in progress ones, now if I click on cross team working, each pane opens up a task, and then what we've got here is the content. So you can see the task status is in progress. You've got obviously text and images. On the right hand side here, you've got messenger assessor, which takes you into the messaging system. But if you see, then it highlights which is the actual tasks to your. It's not just like a generic message; it's actually specific to this actual work. If I just go back to the task page. Okay, so what you've got here is obviously the content. These red links are like workbooks. So it takes you into another set of page, which you've got to work through the workbooks and go through each one. But as you work down through the task, the learner gets to go and see through all the content. This is really important for you to read and have a look at this, because then you'll see what they're seeing and how they're getting to the answers and the questions they've asked. So once they get through the workbooks, they then can obviously answer the questions to each of the activities. Once they've done all that, they can click submit. Now, if I hit submit task here now, are you sure you want to submit for review? I click OK, it'll say no because I haven't done all the criteria. The system will make sure that you have to do everything first. But once you've done everything and you click submit, that will go through to you as an assessor straight away. So as soon as the learner's done that, it'll go through to them. So the system is very intuitive. It's very obviously easy to do. The learner just works through their tasks. There's due dates on them, which are set by you. As soon as they submit it, it comes through to you. Okay, so what do you see? So you see the Learning Assistant e-portfolio. Okay, so I'm just going to log in as an assessor. Okay, so this is Learning Assistant. So what have we got? So we've got an avatar top left hand corner here. So if I click on the avatar here, it opens up a sub menu. Okay, and the sub menu is some extra options. So if I click on learners, this gives me access to my caseload. So everyone in here is all my learners on my caseload. So a quick dive into them. So if I click on anyone, it will take me into their learning. The avatar button allows you to upload a picture of yourself, so or a picture of somebody else. So at the moment, if you leave it, obviously if you leave it, it's the normal generic image, but you can obviously upload. Click choose file, open up your PC files on your PC. You can update them. Password. So the password in the system is not set to change, but you can change it if needs be. So you can put your current password in and then put a new one in. Nice and straightforward. Okay, notifications. This is an important one. So your email address will be in here. Okay, the system is set to no by default. Okay, and that's because obviously GDPR and things, you've got to say yes to get messages. But what you can do is you can set it to have hit per message or daily per message. So if 10 learners uploaded 10 pieces of evidence today, you would get 10 separate emails. Whereas a daily just gives you a summary one. Okay, so most people set it to daily. So if you do daily and then change all the yes to yes, and then at bottom one to daily, click save email settings. What happens then is at the end of every day, and I do mean end of the day, so kind of midnight, you will get an email that's telling you everything that's happened in Learn Assistant. So this has happened, that has happened, and so forth. Okay. Preferences. So preferences is just a case of like you can change fonts and icons and stuff like that. Nothing too majorly important. However, there's one or two bits I'd like to show you. Scroll down. The records per page is set to 25. That's so when you search for your learners, you will only see 25 on one page. You have to click on page 2 and so forth. So if you've got more than 25 learners, which I think most of you will start having more, then you can change it to 50 or 100. And then finally, there's a bottom button, which is set by group by course by default. But what that'll do is it'll group all your learners by course. So if the learner's on ILM, it'll go ILM, all your learners. It'll then go functional skills, your learners. So your learner will appear in more than one list. But if you group by learner, it'll be learner's name, all their courses, learner's name, all their courses, and so forth. So that's probably a better one to choose. But again, it's up to you. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just showing you the options. And then if you click on the avatar again, you can then obviously, the most important button for me is log out. There's a lot of personal data in the system, so logging out is really important. Okay. So that's the avatar setup. Really important to just set them up. So your notifications and some preferences, really important. So just going on to the system. So what we've got is a home page, which is what we at City and Guilds feel is most important. So you've got assessor tasks. So what we've got is a waiting review. Anything in here is what the learner submitted. So that's the learner's name, that's the task they've done, and that's the date they've submitted it. So that's work that they've done and it's come through to you and it's sat on your homepage until it gets reviewed. Okay, so that's like your outstanding work for me. So keep it on top of that. If you click on that, that'll take you to the learner's portfolio. If you click on that bit, that'll take you directly into the place where they've uploaded the work. Okay, and then you just need to mark it. So that, we feel that's the most important bit for us. Verify referrals, again, is the next most important. So anything that gets referred by your IQA will sit on your page and the IQA's page. And then finally, overdue. So when you set learners' due dates and you go past that due date, it'll appear on your homepage as well as their learning. So if you can see now, I've got due dates on there. That is just this page here. Okay. So that's all your dues. You can see I got quite a few overdue. So that's your set of tasks. Verifier tasks, I'm set up to verifier, so I got verifier tasks, but we won't go into that because obviously that's another session again. But what we've got then is messages. So messages opens up another separate system. So it's very similar to what the learner gets. So because the learner sends you a message within the message center, you then get access to the message center. So what you then get is the ability to reply back to messages and so forth. But more importantly, there's a link button on your left-hand side, which then takes you into your learner caseload. So if you click onto there, it will then give you access to your learners, and I can have a look at my learner, and it gives me their front page, so it tells me what units they've done, and what units they've started, when they started, when they completed it. So it just gives me their overview look as well. So this is their online ILP, so pretty much like what they had at the beginning. Okay, so you can go into each learner from this point of view. Okay. So just go back to my portfolio, and that was by clicking the messages button. We also have a message on the left hand side where you can do exactly the same there as well. So both buttons do exactly the same thing, but they're just two shortcuts. Appointments calendar, not really used at the moment. So again, we're hoping to feed that into the appointments calendar on the learner's homepage, but it's just not there yet. And then we have the resources page. So the resources page is just a place where Kaplan can store resources. Not done it too much at the moment yet, but it's just a place that we can hold generic resources. So that's your kind of home page. We do have this reporting suite here, so you will have access. My demo won't click into there, but yours will when you get in there. What you'll have access to is a learner progress report and learner's due date report as a whole of your whole caseload. This is just kind of outstanding, but if you click on learner progress report and due date report, that'll give you can open the reporting suite and you'll get the learner progress report and due date report. So that's really handy. So you can click that, or you can click this button here, and it'll open up what this called reporting suite. You log in, and it'll just take you directly into there. I'll come back to learners in a minute. So the appointments calendar, again, it's just appointments calendar. It's nothing too in detailed. It's just a calendar. You can store your appointments on there, but you probably got Outlook, so you probably just use Outlook. The forums, again, we set a forum up for every qualification, but again, the learner won't see it, so it's really down to what you got. PDR section. So you at Kaplan don't use this section. This is where you keep up to date with your occupational competence, but I know that you all use your own hub, so again, I won't touch that bit. Sampling summaries for IQAs, and again, the messages just takes you into the messaging system. Okay. So going back to my learners, so that's the most important. So really, it's the home page, which is your set of tasks. Now the learners bit. Okay, so the learners bit. If I look for a learner, if I search for a learner, assistant accountant, that'll do. So as you can see, my learner comes up with their name and all their courses. So this person's on the assistant accountant and the induction. So what we have here is the list of units. You can see they're color coded. Gray is not started, blue is started, green is completed, pink is verified, orange is referred. But that key code is up here as well. Okay, so this they'll just highlight there, but you can obviously look at the code. We then have RAG rating. You at Kaplan are not fully using all that bit. You just use RUG rating, so red or green. You don't use the amber status, so you only use red or green. So either someone's on target or not on target. So they're not on target, they're red. They're on target or above, they're green. So there's no in between. So it's definitely red or green. So this will tell you which one is. We have a progress bar. Started relates to what the learner's done, so what the learner's uploaded. or gone into a unit. Completed is when you've marked it and said yes, it's okay, goes up completed. And expected is will just go on the dates of learning. So if a person's on program for a year, 50% of the way through, they should be 50%. Halfway through, they should be 50%. We have a couple of buttons here. So this is a comment button. This is you can make a comment about a learner. The learner won't see it. So this is more for like special needs or any special requirements. Now at Kaplan, if you're going to make a comment about a learner, you make it on their review course. So it's consistent across the board. So on their review course, you click the comment button and put it in there. The other buttons, these are the amount of evidences have been uploaded since the last time I visited the portfolio. It'll have a number in there, so 1, 2, 3. This is also the amount of contact diary entries, which we'll go into in a minute, and that's just the learner journey. So if I click on a learner's qualification, that takes me into their portfolio. But the first thing I want to show you is, if I click on the learner's name, this takes me into the overarching side. This is where I can set the rug rating. So if I click on for assistant accountant, if I click on there, you can see I've changed it before. So I'll click on green and that will show then this is green. I should also do it for the induction one as well. So I should do it for every course, not just the one, because they're all different. So they could be up on functional skills, but down on the main qualifications. So it's really important that you do rug rating for each one. So it's very simply red or green. And as you can see, I can do it on the one page for all my courses. So it's very simple to do. But again, when you're doing the rug rating, it should only be, you should only do it, green when someone's on target. If they're not on target, you need to make sure they're red, because at Kaplan, they need to know who's on target and who's not. So if I click on assistant accountant, it takes me back into the portfolio. So what we've got, a couple of buttons up here. The course snapshot button is a printout of all the criteria, so I'm not sure why we need that, but it is there. The unit selection, you'll start using this going forward. Kaplan will be doing units, so only releasing so many units at a time to a learner. So then what you can do is click in here, and any units that you want to release to a learner as and when, you can click on them, click update, and then units become available in your system and in their system straight away. Okay, so that unit selection is the ability to, as you can see now, number 1's gone in straight away. Okay, the assessor declaration is pretty much saying, yes, I confirm that all the work's done and it's legit and it's all up to date and things like that. Learner PDR is not needed. Learners don't access this side of the system, so they don't need it. We've got who the assessor is, who the verifier is. So you've got your progression bars here now. So the course folder, you can see here now that obviously all the units and all the tasks are all built in. So all the different bits, delivering presentations, data accuracy, strategic. Apologies, I don't know too much about accountancy, so I'm just looking at it, but you can see there. But what you can see on this course folder is the ability to set deadlines. Okay, so what I can do is click set deadline. You can then put a deadline on it. Well, I want to complete this by end of March. Click set deadline, and I've set that deadline for that particular task, and that will push through to the learner now. So that deadline is done 30th of March. That will push through to the learner's homepage on their particular task then. Okay, so that's really important you set them. I'm not saying set them all for all of the units, but for the first couple you should be setting deadlines, because it obviously gives the learner some focus, but also tells people at Kaplan when things should be due. We then got the evidence folder. Okay, so the evidence folder is a list of all the evidence. Okay, we do have something called showcase evidence. So the showcase evidence is where you can mark evidence to showcase, lock it down. That could be for EPA. So I'm thinking, oh, that's a pretty good piece of evidence. So I'm marking it for EPA. At the end of the portfolio, then what you can do is click download showcase, and that will download all your marked evidence as showcase into a folder where then you can upload it into the EPA portal. So as you're going, if you think that piece of evidence is a pretty good piece of evidence, then mark it as showcase, and then you'll be okay to upload it. Registration tab is a list. It's just all the personal details, telephone number, date of birth and stuff, so you can just update that as and when you go. The contact diary is basically where all the assessment feedback, everything goes into the contact diary. So if a learner's not doing work, you should make an entry into here. Now, to make an entry into the contact diary, you click Create Entry. Then obviously the label, you can put general or you can do something other, but I think for most things it's just general. Okay. Now, if you're making a comment about a learner, so visited John today and no work provided, feedback, you can put spoke to John's manager. So you're just kind of really giving a story behind of your appointment, really. So it's really important to give that, because otherwise, if someone's not doing work and the progression's behind, but you're going there, you're setting them work, it really need to paint that picture. So creating that contact diary will give you that bit. So the course metrics is off the job stuff, so we're not using that at the moment because you're using the training log, so I won't go into that too much. And then the journey tab is pretty much a record of the learner's login data, when they've logged in, how often they've logged in, and so forth. So that's kind of the system. I'm just gonna, so if I go back to my home page, you can see now that this is the work that someone's given me. So if I just like, so the customer specialist there, induction 1. So if I click on induction 1, okay, that takes me into the particular course folder where they've done it. So very similar to what I've shown you before, you can see that it's just a course folder, but they've submitted this to me by here. So I'll go back into this, and what you can see is they've answered the questions. So if I open this up, this gives me, so that's the question, and then the answers. I've just probably put in blank answers, but you could see that, look at that, mark it, and say, right, okay, well, that's good, that's good. So once you've done that, go back to my portfolio. So once I've marked that, okay, right. So now I've got to make a decision whether I accept or return it. Now, if I return it, that means I'm sending it back to the learner and say, well done, but you need to do question 4 or 5. But if I'm accepting it, because I thought all the answers were pretty good, then I can click accept. Both buttons will do exactly the same. We'll open up a contact diary to provide feedback. The accept one will say yes, completed. The return will send it back. We'll keep it open for the learner. So if I click accept, it says accept is completed, and then you can give your feedback. Well done, excellent work. And if I click save, that goes back to the learner. So the feedback still goes back to the learner, but it closes the unit down. So if you have a look now, that one is now completed. Okay, so just going back to my home page, let's open up another one. I'm doing induction because I don't really know the other units. So if I do this one, and I would open up the answers, but this time if I click return, same contact diary turns up. Please redo question 5. If I click save and then close, it keeps the unit open, but you can see now it's been returned back to the learner. So that unit then will go back to the learner, please redo question 4. And then that's how you give your feedback. So really important to stay on top of your homepage, on top of your feedback. It's really important to rug rate your learners. So if someone's on if they're on target, green and red, and it's really important to do due dates as well, so the system can work out. It's really important for you, really, because if you've got a lot of work that's due, then people can help you out. But if that's not being shown, then it's really difficult. So rag rate your learners, and then do due dates as well. And obviously mark your work. So this is like kind of a dip into the system, but obviously watch the video. Really important then, just have a play with the system. But then obviously if you need any further training, please let me know. Okay, so thanks for listening today, and hopefully speak to you soon. Cheers, bye.